Hello, Walter. How are you today? We're so glad to have you on the show, even though it's your show. We've been looking forward to this interview for a while, and now that the timing is right, I want to start with the big question. As the founder and host of the Walt Weekly podcast, why did you start it, and what were you hoping to share with your audience?
Thanks for having me, Hannah.
First, let me congratulate you on 7 years of podcasting. Happy anniversary.
Why, thank you. I didn't realize it had been that long. Geez, Louise, see how time flies when you're doing something you love?
That brings me to the question people always ask. Why did you start? What were some of the challenges? And are you still staying true to the mission?
Well, Hannah, I had to learn a whole new set of skills. I had to change my mindset and start thinking more like an independent journalist. And remember, I knew nothing about reporting when I started. That was in addition to the years I had already spent working in finance, technology, and business. So I started asking myself some basic questions. What do I like? What am I good at? How can I add value? I hoped my experience in corporate America would become a useful knowledge base for the audience. I also wanted to bring in subject matter experts who could help inform our listeners and give them a broader perspective. Over time, that became one of the real assets of the podcast, sharing the difficult news when we have to, but also making room for the good news when there is something positive to pass along. So, 7 years and approximately 300 episodes later, here we are.
That's a perfect lead-in to my next question. When people listen to Walt Weekly, they're hearing more than just your opinions. They're hearing the experience behind them. So, Walter, what would you say are the biggest assets you bring to this podcast?
That's a great question, Hannah. I think the biggest asset I bring is experience, not from just one lane, but from a lot of different places over a long period of time. I've spent more than 35 years in financial services, and during that time, I had the opportunity to grow into leadership roles, including managing director. That gave me a front row seat to how major institutions make decisions, how strategy gets shaped, and how people respond when the pressure is on. I've also worked with some of the largest financial institutions in the world, Chase, Deutsche Bank, Bank of New York. So I've seen the business from the inside. I've seen the good, the bad, the complicated, and the human side of it. On top of that, I've managed global projects, including initiatives valued at around $10 million. Those experiences taught me how to listen, how to organize complex information, and how to bring people together around a goal. And because I've worked across 5 continents, including significant time in West Africa, I don't look at issues from just one perspective. I try to bring a global lens to the conversation, but also a practical one, something people can actually use. So when I come to the podcast, I'm not coming as someone who has all the answers. I'm coming as someone who has lived through a few things, learned from a lot of people, and wants to help the audience make sense of what's happening in the world around them.
Thank you, Walter. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. And congratulations again on 7 years of Walt Weekly.